You ever meet someone who changes everything you thought you knew about life? Not instantly, not dramatically, but quietly. And then one day, you realize your whole world has shifted in ways you never imagined. That's exactly what happened to Neka, a young, pretty woman in her early 20s, dark-skinned, with hopeful eyes and hands calloused from years of labor. She sold fruits in the bustling market every single day. Her back ached from hours of standing. The sun burned her skin, dust coated her hair, and the shouts of vendors and customers merged into a constant, exhausting chorus. Yet, somewhere in the middle of the noise and heat, she dared to dream. Neka's days were long and predictable. She woke before sunrise, washed her few belongings, and carefully arranged her fresh fruits at her stall. She ignored the jeers of other vendors, who sneered at her humble setup, calling her just another street girl. She lived simply, scraping by with just enough to feed herself, her younger brother, and her aging mother. But in the quiet moments before the market opened, when the streets were still, she dreamed of more. A small shop with polished wooden counters, bright fruit displays, and customers who came to her because of her dedication, not merely to grab something on the way. She didn't know how to make that dream real, but she refused to let it die. One hot afternoon, as sweat ran down her back, a customer accidentally dropped a pile of coins. Neka bent down to gather them when she noticed a man walking past, tall, sharply dressed, sunglasses hiding his eyes, yet his presence commanded attention. He paused slightly, then handed her a crisp bill. "You dropped something," he said. She looked up, meeting his gaze for the first time. There was a calm confidence about him, a subtle warmth she couldn't quite name. I didn't notice," she murmured. "Maybe you're just too focused," he replied with a gentle smile. "I'm Alyamite. I couldn't help but notice how dedicated you are." Something about the way he spoke made her heart flutter. "I run businesses," he continued. "Small ones, big ones. I can help you if you want." She laughed nervously, brushing back her hair. "Why would a man like you care about someone like me?" "Because I've seen people who work as hard as you do," he said simply. "They deserve a chance." And in that moment, Neka felt the first tremor of change in her life, subtle yet undeniable. The following weeks blurred into a mix of hard work and quiet mentoring. Alyamite guided her in ways she never imagined, teaching her how to source better quality fruits, negotiate fair prices, and keep accounts. Slowly, her stall began to attract attention. Customers came not only for the freshness of her produce, but for the warmth in her smile and the honesty in her demeanor. And with each day, Alyamite lingered longer by her side. At first, their conversations were about business. Then laughter slipped in, and subtle flirtation followed. But with success comes envy. Vendors whispered behind her back, spreading rumors. Some tried to sabotage her by hiding fruits or taking advantage of gaps in her routine. Neka began to understand that envy could cut sharper than knives. She felt the sting of betrayal, not only from competitors, but even from people she had once considered friendly. One evening, Alyamite invited Neka to his office. Sleek, modern, intimidating. She felt a knot in her stomach as he closed the door behind her. "I need to be honest," he said, his voice calm but serious. "There's a business deal coming up. If it fails, it could cost you everything you've built here." She looked at him, hurt and confusion mixing in her gaze. "You didn't tell me before," she whispered. "I thought you didn't need to know," he replied. "Sometimes I make decisions that seem cold, but it's only to protect you." Trust wavered. Her heart raced. Could she truly believe him? Or was this another form of deception? Days later, a rival vendor bribed the city inspector to shut down her stall. Chaos erupted in the market. Customers murmured, baskets fell, and Neka panicked, feeling tears sting her eyes. Then Alyamite appeared, calm and composed. He spoke firmly, commanding respect, and in moments, the inspector backed down. Her stall was saved. Relief flooded her, followed by a profound realization. He hadn't betrayed her. He had been guiding her from the shadows, allowing her to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the marketplace in golden hues, Neka packed up her stall, exhaustion and triumph mingling. Alyamite stood beside her, his expression softer than she had ever seen. "You've done this yourself," he said gently. "I only showed the way. You did all the work." A warmth spread through her chest, not just from love, but from trust, shared ambition, and understanding. They walked side by side through the quieting market, the air carrying possibilities. In the soft glow of the streetlights, Neka realized that life was no longer just about survival. It was about hope, courage, and love. Love that had blossomed quietly, patiently, against the odds. And as the night settled, with lanterns casting long shadows and distant laughter echoing through the streets, Neka felt her heart swell with promise. The journey was far from over. Challenges would come. Betrayal might still knock at her door. But for the first time, she knew she could face it all not alone. And deep down, she felt that this was only the beginning of a story that would change her life forever.